I just thought I would come on and introduce myself because I know that I've quite a lot of new followers and I've also not done a introduction video in quite some time. So I thought, why not do it now while I'm feeling inspired? So my name is Cori Wilkie and I'm based in Edinburgh, Scotland. I am currently identifying as a trauma-informed, integrative, somatic therapist. Sounds like a bit of a mouthful, I know. I landed on this title because I have a variety of models that I use and therapeutic resources that I use in the work that I do. I'm currently generally offering group work services, but I also have a few one-to-one clients. However, group work is what I'm most passionate about. I love holding trauma-informed and supportive spaces for people and allowing them to really realize how important it is to have that connection with others, to normalize emotions and feelings and reactions to things, to normalize mental health and trauma, to co-regulate together, breathe together, move together. And if you've worked with me, you'll know that I'm really passionate about that idea of bringing people together and holding the space together. So what do you want to know about me? Or what might be helpful? So I have quite a varied background. I've been working in social work and social care for, it's been over 20 years now. And I currently have a job in community justice. I work in a small therapeutic team and I have a cat who you can now see who is just walking past. That is my cat, Leo. I work in a small trauma-informed therapeutic team that offers group work and one-to-one services, supporting people in understanding the reasons for why they've offended, but also addressing maybe any trauma responses that they have, working on themselves using compassion, mindfulness, CBT, and lots of other models. So that's my day job from Monday to Thursday. And then when it comes to my brand Koa, so as I said, I hold spaces for lots of different groups in both corporate and community settings. And I've worked in lots of different organizations and with lots of different organizations. You can find out more on my website. My background, yes. So I started by doing my training in yoga. We're going back quite a while. I think it was 2018. I started my yoga teacher training in Vinyasa. And I remember feeling really inspired to start doing something more to do with my body and finding a connection to myself. I then, from then, really progressed onto other different therapeutic areas and areas in the well-being industry. So I then went into Reiki and am now trained to Reiki master teacher level. With regards to the yoga, I didn't stop with Vinyasa. I went on to train in restorative and yin yoga as well. So I have like over 350 hours of yoga teacher training, which I'm incredibly grateful for. I've also trained in yoga nidra, and to a certain extent with breathwork. So I'm not a specialist breathwork facilitator or therapist, but I have touched on the theory of breathwork and working with the breath through my yoga teacher training and also mindfulness training. So I'm a mindfulness teacher as well. I've not only trained in mindfulness on a kind of general level, but I've also sound therapist, and I also do sound massage where I use a variety of instruments within my work, and I also hold sound journeys and sound baths in different locations. I'm a systemic coach, so many don't know that I did a postgraduate in systemic coaching and supervision. System and see what's influencing them, how they can find more balance, more stillness, be more regulated, more at one with where they are and the system they're in. My training also included family system constellation training. So I've held spaces where I've done family system constellations. And that is just so interesting, particularly from a trauma perspective. Oh gosh, what else? I have quite a list of things. You can find everything on my website. So yes, mindfulness teacher training, a sound therapist, a systemic coach, a yoga teacher. I've also trained in somatic work and not that long ago did training with the Embodied lab, doing their integrative somatic trauma therapy training. I've done lots of other somatic training as well with people like Peter Levine and Bessel van der Kolk, to name a few. I also did a postgraduate certificate in trauma stress studies with Bessel van der Kolk and the Trauma Research Foundation, which was so inspiring and so interesting. And yeah, just done so many different things. But why have I done so much? I've done so much because I've realized over time that we are also individual and unique, right? So I want to meet you where you are. I want to have a toolkit where I can tap into that and work with you. I want to work with people in a way that I can really hold safe enough and supportive spaces. And for that, I felt I needed to really train in all these different areas. And I forgot to mention that I am just really passionate about that integrative approach, bringing it all together, working in a way that's right for you. And I can do that in a group setting by pivoting between different techniques, but I can also do that one-to-one. And it's something I think that I've just realized over time. I've really landed where I need to be right now. This idea of being an integrative therapist. And my approach to everything these days is integrative, which means that I literally tap into all these different parts of my training and my knowledge. And I'm constantly still training and learning all the time because there's so much to learn. In fact, I recently completed my compassionate mind training and did some training in compassion-focused therapy. So there's so much that I bring in. But ultimately, everything is underpinned by how does our nervous system work? How can we find more balance within our nervous system? How can we find more stillness? How can we manage moments of dysregulation within our nervous system as well and in our body, our soma? And how can we navigate this very bumpy and crazy world that we're in? And then the other side of that is, of course, normalizing, affirming, witnessing people's journeys and their experiences and where they are. Now, as I look at everything through a trauma-informed lens, I'm always really conscious that we all have a story and we all have history, and that needs to be acknowledged, and which is, again, why everyone has their own unique experience of what works for them and an understanding of what's right for them. And I always say there's not really a right or wrong as long as it's right for you and your body. And this is why I bring all these approaches. And it's, I often think, how can I kind of package this and explain this in a shorter way? But that is really difficult because I'm so passionate about everything that I do, whether it's the yoga, the mindfulness, the somatic movement, the breath, the compassion work, the Reiki, all of that. It all kind of comes together like these little puzzle pieces and just flows together in many ways. And it's what makes me feel excited about the work that I do. It's what I see also cultivates and promotes the most change in people, feeling like they're being seen where they are in that moment in time, and learning new resources, new tools, new techniques that they can use to regulate that nervous system, to process moments and navigate moments that are really distressing and upsetting and difficult, where our body is under threat, to have healthier relationships with others, to communicate in more assertive and clear ways, use that voice, to maybe just move a little bit more and notice how that feels as we move with the body and we release and we shift any tensions that we're carrying. There's just so much that can be done. And it's something that I live by. So I have lived experience of trauma. I have lived experience of stress and being very, very, very close to burnout, possibly even having been in burnout. Who knows? At that time, I just navigated it, knowing how much that stress, trauma, dysregulation impacts our body and how much we need to work with that so that we can find that stillness, that balance. I'm always going about balance and more awareness and acceptance as well. So yes, that's me. That's a lot of information. I've really made this video much longer than I intended to, but that's a lot of information. I really wanted to share this. I felt really passionate about it today, and particularly the group work stuff. So I held quite a few group spaces in the last week, and I just realized how much I love working with groups of people and how it offers that space for normalization, that we are all human and we're all doing our best, and none of us are perfect, and we're all finding our way. And I'm constantly going on about that. And that includes me. I'm far from perfect, and I'm constantly working on myself, and everything that I teach works for me. Everything that I teach, I have tried, I believe in, which doesn't mean that it's right for you, but it means that I have tried it, and I really can say, okay, there is science behind that. There is research that proves that it works. These are proven techniques. I am trained and accredited in these things. It's really important. It's really, really important. And so, yeah, know that when you're with me, I may not be perfect, but I will try and hold a trauma-informed space wherever you feel like everything is invitational, where you feel that you're part of the process, where you hopefully feel witnessed and seen, where you feel that you're as normal as everyone else and feel heard, where you're able to be in a space where you're not judged, where you're not questioned, where there's no expectation of right or wrong. And if you've been to any of my sessions, you'll know that. I really encourage you to meet yourself where you are and come home to your body and find what works for you. So there we go. That is my enthusiastic post of the day. That's very much who I am. If you haven't worked with me, I would love to see you in one of my group sessions. I'm currently not taking on any more one-to-ones. So if you'd like to join me in a group session. I'd love to connect with you. If you have any questions or you want to reach out to me, do that. If you want to know more about me, go to my website. There's tons of information. Go and find out more about me. And I hope I get a chance to meet you and hear your story and work with you and hopefully empower you to find what works for you in your body. How can you find more balance, feel more empowered, feel stronger within yourself? Yeah, and know that nothing is perfect, but we can navigate this bumpy life. Yeah, okay. That is all I wanted to share. I just felt, as I said, really inspired to do this post this morning. Is it morning? No, it's afternoon now. I'm losing track of time. So take good care, everyone. If you are following me already, thank you for your ongoing support. If you've been to any of my events, thank you. I'm always grateful and I don't take it for granted. You allow me to really live this work and do what makes my heart beat faster. You allow me to be in a life where I feel that I can live my purpose, not only in my day job, but in this business of Koa. And I'm so incredibly grateful for that. So please know that. I'm just so grateful. And every time I hold spaces with people, I'm just grateful. I'm inspired. I'm moved by how much people show up for themselves and the changes they make. And how much they're willing to invest in themselves, because it's so worth it. It's so worth it. The work takes time and it's not easy, but it's worth it. Okay, I'm going to go and stop waffling. Thank you for all of you that have watched, that have listened. I thought I would just do it live rather than kind of pre-recorded, blah, 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 because then it doesn't feel authentic or real for me anyway. Thank you for those that have watched live as well. And wishing you all a beautiful morning, afternoon or evening, wherever you are. From me, Cori, the face of Koa in the heart of Edinburgh. Oh, and before I forgot to mention, I've got a podcast as well. If you haven't checked out my podcast, it is great. And I'll tell you why it's great is because I'm interviewing other amazingly beautiful, inspirational people, and they are telling their stories. So it's not great because I'm doing it. It's great because you get to hear their stories. And I love to give them that platform to shine brightly. So yeah, check it out. Okay, everyone, take good care. Bye-bye.